So, where did we get to last time? So last time we started on case 4, which is a flashback case into Edgeworth's past. It was supposed to be Edgeworth's first case, but something ended up happening. So like he's under the tutelage of Manfred von Karma. He had just become a prosecutor. He's a young boy, trying to make his mark on the world. I don't have his profile here. And he was supposed to be representing, not representing, he was supposed to be prosecuting against this guy. His name was Mr. Mackerel, yes. So Mr. Mackerel, he, oh, that's a bit loud actually. Let me turn down the audio so you can hear me better. So Mr. Mackerel, he killed a guy, which guy? Where's Mr. Deadman? This one, yeah. So Mr. Mackerel killed Mr. Deadman, in front of the Kodopian embassy. And there was video evidence of it, so it was like clean as day that he was the killer. But Mr. Mackerel accused the then prosecutor, whose name is Bern Faraday. He accused him of being this thief called the Yatagarasu. So those of you who've been following know who the Yatagarasu is. So he accused him of being the Yatagarasu, and said that he was the one who told him to murder Mr. Deadman. And so because of that, Edgeworth was called in to replace Mr. Faraday. Now, you might recognize Faraday as Kay's last name, but we'll get into that in a sec. So Edgeworth was about to go prosecute in his first case. And he had gotten all the evidence. He went into the courtroom. He waited there with Mr. von Karma and for the judge. The judge showed up. Nobody else showed up. And then all of a sudden a gunshot was heard in the defendant lobby number 2. And then when we went to go see, both Mr. Faraday, so the then prosecutor, who's probably who's definitely Kay's dad, and Mr. Mackerel had died. One from a stab wound and one from a gunshot. Oh yeah, but I don't think there's any game audio in this scene, so I thought I'd just let the break music keep playing for a sec. Okay, so two people are found dead: the prosecutor and the person who was on trial in defendant lobby number 2, and it's like a closed room scenario. Nobody went in or out as far as we know. The only person that we know who was around that area at the time was this guy, Mr. Gumshoe, who we just met. Do you want me to, Wolfie? Actually? Because I will if you want me to. So we just met Gumshoe. Edgeworth meets Gumshoe for the first time here. He was put on... he's like a new detective, rookie detective. He was stationed in front of defendant lobby number 2 to guard the defendant. But they both ended up dying. So he was prime suspect for the murders. And so we tried to gather evidence to exonerate him, prove that it wasn't him. He claimed to have been standing in front of the door the entire time, and we find like some proof that he actually instead went to the vending machine, and then went to sit down on a bench to eat some food, like Swiss rolls. I think we have the evidence, the Swiss roll evidence here. Yeah, here. So he bought a Swiss roll using his money and then Kay's money. So Kay is this little girl, 10 years old, and her dad just passed away, unfortunately. And so her and Gumshoe combined their money together to buy some Swiss rolls. And then Kay had one and Gumshoe had one. Gumshoe dropped half of his on the floor. Kay is adorable. She's great. Yeah, so he proved that Kay was there. at the scene, and we found a bunch of evidence. We found a balloon being popped and a whole bunch of other stuff that's not that important. And the judge saw Gumshoe disappear, but it was just him sitting down. Yeah, because apparently the way that this courthouse is laid out, you can see from the men's bathroom, you can see into the hallway in the courtroom to the defendant's lobby, and vice versa. You can just look into the men's room from the defendant hallway, which is kind of weird, but besides the point. It gave allowed us to question the judge, which is very interesting. Yeah, we proved that they didn't kill each other. So right now we don't have a murder suspect. We've just been disproving that it was Gumshoe. As for the other evidence, we believe that the actual murder that took place, so not just this, but the one against Deadman, it's part of the bigger conspiracy. This like KG8 incident that happened a while ago, to like uncover this smuggling ring, which we've talked about in previous cases. And the victim in this case was Miss CCU, who was going to testify against the Amana group, which we believe to be the big smuggling group overall. And she ended up dying, and the suspect, his name is Manny Cochin, was set free. Even though we thought that it's been told to us that the prosecutor had enough evidence, but for some reason they didn't convict him properly. And the prosecutor in this scenario was also Mr. Faraday, which is Kay's dad. Now, the victim in that case, CCU, her sister, is the defendant, a defense attorney in the case against Mr. Deadman, the guy who got gunned down in front of the embassy. But she's only defending in order to uncover the truth about what happened. So yeah, that's happening at the moment as well. Guess some other people to go through. Mr. Bad, he's the head detective in the precinct at the moment. He's helping us lead the investigation against the Yatagarasu. Well, he leads the investigation against the Yatagarasu, and he's trying to help us with this, but he doesn't believe, he thinks we're too young to do anything. This is Manny Cochin. He's the staff member from the Kodobian embassy, and he was the suspect in the first killing. We have young Francisca, who's our partner. She's 13 years old. She's trying to help us. She's studying in Germany, but she's here to for vacation, and she's helping Edgeworth investigate. And she has a riding crop and keeps whooping us, which is, I don't know, interesting. Yeah, and we have the judge. Oh yeah, I believe that's basically everyone. That's important. And then the Yatagarasu, we still don't know. So I believe we're gonna talk more about the Yatagarasu and how it ties in together. And then hopefully we'll find a murder suspect, because we don't have a suspect anymore. All we've been trying to prove is that it wasn't Gumshoe, but we don't actually have a suspect in the murder. We believe, like, it could be Manny, but the reason why people thought it wasn't Manny is because it's supposedly been happening during the trial, when the trial was going on. But I think we have evidence to prove that it wasn't during the trial going on. So like, we think it might be Manny. Also, Manny is 24. He does not look 24. His face is so rugged and liney. Okay. Frickin' smugglers. Yeah, quite. So yeah, right now we're in defendant lobby number 1. This is where both Callisto Yu and Tyrell Bad were, so the detective and the defense attorney, when the gunshot happened. But we haven't been in here yet, so this is our first time going here. And that's where we are right now. So hopefully that gives you an overview of everything that's happening so far. Let me move OBS over here. You can see that. Cool. And then let's pause. the music. Okay, cool. Okay, can you guys hear that? All good? Yep, okay, cool. So, hear it. Let's do it! So, 5:45 in the afternoon, September 10th. Same day. What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers. Hi, Kay! Uncle Bad, is this it? Isn't that Detective Bad and Kay over there? Looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. No, that's not quite it. Oh. Like a husky voice, didn't I? No, that's not quite it. Oh, too bad. But it's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be worried. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it. Thanks! I'll treasure it always. These two seem to get along rather well. Oh, here. Got something else for you. Yay! Thank you, Uncle Bad. Aww. And they know each other pretty well. Interesting. Earlier, I ate one of these with Gummy. Gummy? Oh, you mean Gumshoe. Gummy is... He was trying to be nice to me because I was gonna get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy... I know he didn't kill Daddy! Don't cry. Paradise would be sad if he saw you cry. I'm not crying. Okay. Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady too. Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being? You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant. Oh. So I'm related to the investigation. Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess. I need to get a cigarette, like Bad. I can get in the voice. What? You were just scolding us like kids to not mess up the crime scene? And now you let this child run free? Why? People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that? We don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into. Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you. Oh, that's right. Hey, mister! Yes, what is it? I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So please, find the real bad guy, okay? I won't forgive whoever did this. But in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there is no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. Yes, what is it? No, I don't want to ask you anything. Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for? Nothing that concerns you, boy. Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay? It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste. Sounds like you'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is that overpowering smell that is permeating the room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's that ultra-strong perfume you spilled some. No, she spilled some. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window. But that smell's still here. Perfume, huh? Interesting. So the sweet scent in the air is perfume. Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand. She said, It's a famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff. No disrespect. She forced one of those bottles on her. Here, little girl, you can have it. I was born for a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold onto this bottle without fail. Why can't she ever be honest about her wants? Misused perfume. Alright. It's a nice bottle. People still wear perfume? Yeah. Still wear cologne and aftershave when I go out. It's nice to smell nice. So now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears. Just fantastic. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigate. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. Got those eyes, man, about to pop out of his head. Right, during the recess. So you were in this room the entire recess? Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Earlier, you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss Yu. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Then, what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu are in two different locations? Yes, I am. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seemed to have a great dislike for you. Oof. Let's see, Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KGA incident. As I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on that case, right? I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, but because you were the lead detective on the case. Uh-oh. You knew? I also know that today's trial involving the Cadopian Embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KGA incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday and the KG8 incident. I didn't pass. If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell you. Hurt's doing his voice. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story, other than the people who were directly involved. You two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. Oh, it's a lollipop! Okay. That was a good debate. I was not expecting that at all. The honest truth behind the KG. Well, is he even a smoker now? Do I have to do the smoker voice? Sounds good, Cos. Everyone was like, I have to do a smoker voice. I have to do a smoker voice. I was like, I can't do a smoker voice. But now I don't have to do a smoker voice. The honest truth behind the KG8 incident. Let's do a deep voice. Faraday, you and I. As you already know, we three were involved with the KG8 incident. Faraday and I. We were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries? That trial was just a front. A facade? Yeah, but the case became tainted. That's true, Peaky. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. Then, what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Deveray. This is the murder victim from Case 3. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring, but he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Deveray was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat. The boss man of the Amano group? He can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano. Can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis, so this is before we know he's bad. Mr. Amano. What is he trying to do? Suspect Mr. Amano being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Cochin, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once of our murders... Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. Oh. That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Cece, I was supposed to protect them both. Miss Yu did mention that as well. About how Detective Bab was supposed to guard her sister. But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap. What kind of a trap? The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap. Oh god. You mean you were fired upon? You were shot at that many times in one gunfight? No. Only about half of these are from that case. Ugh. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG8 incident. I see. I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. I know it hit a brick wall, as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came to the courtroom. The victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu. Tell me about your relationship with Miss Yu. About when you first met Miss Yu. It was on the day the verdict of the KG8 incident was handed down, was it not? Yes. Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do. But just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Oh god. Poor Miss Yu. Hi Kay, good to see you. I'm trying my best. I'm not the best voice actor in the world, but I like getting into the characters. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. I suppose not. You said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us ever again. But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah. Faraday and I, even after the KG8 incident, had come to a close. We continued to hunt down the smuggling ring, and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We cracked so many different cases. But the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big? It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial, related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. Oh. You. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. This is new. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them? Yeah. You was pursuing the ring as best as she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time, for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect. Yeah, so she's only there to gain more information about her sister. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG8 incident, alright? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer? Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rel was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. Can't believe it was a lollipop. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of a Von Karma! Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There is no limit to it, only the skill of the craftsman. You two, still too young. One day, you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again, in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. All of his poses are him sucking on the lollipop? That's great. So what was your relation to Miss Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a known rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. Now I need to get a lollipop. I don't have one. I don't have anything I can suck on. It's sweet or anything like that. Okay. I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together. But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagarasu case. Yeah, so this is before we... Well, I guess we don't know that... See, this is what I was thinking. Like, Kay became the Yatagarasu... She said she was new to the Yatagarasu role in case 3. And that she inherited it. But did she inherit it from her father? Because her father died now. Which means, you know, like 7 years until she inherited the role. So either her dad is the Yatagarasu or he's just being framed to be the Yatagarasu. Should we touch a nerve? Yeah, I'm just interested. Because we don't know that her dad was the Yatagarasu. We just know that he's been accused of being the Yatagarasu by Mr. Mackerel. But Mr. Mackerel said that he himself was the Yatagarasu. So we can't trust him. He's a murderer. I'm just curious as to what Bad knows about the Yatagarasu. I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial. To prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu, which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either. Interesting. Oh no, you're good, Kay, don't worry. Yeah, I just, I'm fairly, like, strict about spoilers and stuff like that, because I'm trying to have, as though if I was playing it offline, that kind of same experience. So, like, I don't want to be hinted at anything like that. But you're good. No worries. No worries at all. Yeah, my mods are good at moderating. I sense that there's no more... I sense that there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagarasu is what's necessary. Yatagarasu. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share with what you know with me? What you should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel. I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagarasu. Oh, you can if you want, Kay. Yeah, as long as it's no spoilers for anything in the future. I like that in the last case, case 3, they had that little Easter egg with Phoenix on the boat with Pearl and Maya. That was really nice. I did, yes. But Proto-Badger, oh my god. The case was good, but Proto-Badger, no. Don't ever want to see Proto-Badger ever again, please. The KG8 incident and the second KG8 incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witnesses who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ, and that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Mr. Rel claimed to be the Yatagarasu. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd? Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already! I believe there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time. A reason, huh? And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer... Oh, interesting, Kay. I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu. If it would help solve this case. Then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarasu. Uh-oh. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. Hi, Quando. Bet you. She whips Edgeworth here. Knew it. Psychic. Still accidentally whipped me anyway. There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Yo, that's cool, Kay. I'm loving the Ace Attorney series so far. It's great. I have plans to play all of them. So we played 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Investigations 1. When Investigations 2, I will get the fan translation and play that too. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Oh snap. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever. Right, you know that. So those are the Yatagarasu's special traits. Yo, sounds good, Loek. I hope you're enjoying it. Oh, nice. I hope you're enjoying it, Kay. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away. But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl. I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time? Was the evidence related to the smuggling ring? Was sent to the police. Right. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Cadopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yatagarasu who sent it? That's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure. Just what sort of card was it? It's the one with the crow on it, right? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. Ah, and that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a better understanding of the Yatagarasu now. Okay. Interesting. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes. His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So, if you could please head over to the courtroom, it would be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself, and to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Oh, cool, okay. That sounds cool. Oh, it's a judge! Hello. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. It would appear that His Honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it was like to stand at the witness stand. And now have a great appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony. Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict. Francisco, there is no need to further depress His Honor. But I'm not trying to, Miles. Your Honor. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was being transferred to me. Oh, that sounds cool, okay. Might check it out. Your Honor, the evidence? Oh, Your Honor! Oh, you, yes, can I help? Excuse me? I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job? Yes, I'm sorry. And I would, except that the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She is busy with the investigation. So let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Miss Grell are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into their case. Understood, Your Honor. Pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding their case, and may even be something that will finally lead me to the truth. I've placed all of the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. Thank you. I see. Thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. So this is the evidence related to today's Philadelphia Embassy trial for Mr. Faraday's bag. You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right? Yes. We can now take a look at the evidence itself, and not just data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time. Agreed. I want to take a good look at all the evidence from the embassy murder too. And why is that? Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about. Ugh. Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something. And don't try to order me around just because Papa chose you today. Someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. Okay. It's also real. See the knife up so close. Hi Sammy, good morning. So we have the knife, the gun, and envelope. What's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested. We passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation. Detective Bad said that? What a strange stroke of luck. Well, never look a gift horse in the mouth. You might as well flip through it too. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Mr. Faraday's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it. Looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here. I've collected the evidence I need to prove that Rell was the killer between I honestly believe that Mr. Rell was the killer in the case. Rell is not the Rell yet, girls. Okay. No matter how you may try to play it, as long as I have the Atagarasu's key, I can prove he's a phony. I present it to him in court. The Atagarasu's key. I can present it to him in court. It should clear everything up. It's been a long battle. Hope this will finally bring it to an end. Yeah, Edgeworth's big brain keeps it all in his mind. Belief that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rell may have made about being the real Yatagarasu. And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rell was the guilty party in the embassy murder. This organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read later. There's a picture of the key, but we don't have the key with us. So I must have... There's a picture stuck between these pages here. It appears to be a key, and a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle. The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Atagarasu key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? The Atagarasu's key? Detective Bad said something earlier. What's different about this time? Was that evident? Alright, right, so this is the evidence. Interesting. Yeah, we just have this. This time. The evidence this time, yeah. Only Faraday and I. So what the others knew about, yep. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep the secret key safe. As the prosecutor in both the Yatagarasu and smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. Okay. Let's take a look at the knife. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act? It's never crossed your mind that you use your riding crop for the wrong purposes? That's all. What is it? What does the key look like? No, they don't look... I don't know. I need a magnifying glass. They don't look that similar. Here's the knife, right? Like, they kind of have a similar color scheme. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this. Certainly isn't. The weapon that was used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rell. I'm sorry, PQ. It's the only logical conclusion, right? No. It's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in. Every person who enters the courthouse door is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside. In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up in the courthouse? You need to think carefully here. There is nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. Maybe it is the key. It is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer. Yeah, okay, it is the key. In order to solve this mystery, I will need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courtroom. I think it's the key. Based on what Edgeworth just said. Take that!
Take that!
Ooh. This Yatagarasu key Mr. Faraday mentions in his organizer. This is how the knife is brought into the courtroom. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. How did I hook it up? I'm using my DS, okay? So I'm using a DS capture card. And so the DS has a mic in it. Yeah. Doesn't the color and ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of the knife. That's what I thought, initially. Very good. Both the Yatagarasu's key in the photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yatagarasu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say... It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are, in fact, one and the same. But that's impossible! Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate the possibility. Now then, let us examine the knife in a little more detail. Okay, I've got some blood. It's the weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. The handle and the blade itself both have beautiful designs worked into them. Yes, we have MAU now here. Look, there's even a flower-shaped design in this gold section here. If this hadn't been used as a tool for murder, I'd want it for myself. She seems to be drawn to the embellishments. Too bad this isn't mine to give. Okay, well, let's look at the handle in more detail. Zoom out. Too much zoom. There must be some kind of like a switchblade thing. Is it? Oh my god! Great power of the Nintendo DS. I can't believe it turned into a key! To think that there was such a trick to this thing. Yo, Wolfie, thanks for being subbed for 10 months. I hope you are doing well today. I appreciate the support. It's good to see you. Thank you, thank you. You're great. Such a kind message. Now we have double Wolfie, double power in the chat. I hope you're doing well today, Wolfie. So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yatagarasu stole. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea the key was hiding a knife blade inside. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, the key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday, so we're going to be looking for the Yatagarasu. But if Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu, meaning the only person it could be is the one who sent that key in the first place. The great thief Yatagarasu. Then maybe Mr. L really was the Yatagarasu. And he was the only one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday is absolutely convinced that Mr. Rel was not the Yatagarasu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier, but when he questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. I see. Alright then. I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yatagarasu. It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. Ah, very funny. Wolfie, please. Alright, let's check the gun last. Edgeworth, I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started. Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it. Suppose I should explain it to you then. Yes, you should. Perfectly in its entirety, if you please. On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Macro was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found with him, for which he was arrested on the spot. A simpleton of a man, that's what he was. Perhaps he was, but the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. L was caught in the act on film by a security camera. He was an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice the security camera. The Kodopian embassy's security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself? No, just a screenshot. Yes, the surveillance video is the security camera. It was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Relon. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life. Your mind occupied, just keep thinking of the proto-badger. And then it's impossible to fall asleep. Okay, this is a nice summary. Alright, time for gun. This gun. It was originally used to kill the Kodopian embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. L still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest. And then, this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. Okay, that's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. The piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? Video showing the moment in which Mr. L committed the murder. Hi, Panic! Thanks for the good luck. I'll try my best. Where could it have gone indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I'm missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties? What? No! I dare not lick my duties. Dude, can you... This judge. What do you take me for? No, Your Honor. The most important piece of evidence in today's trial. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe that tape is still somewhere at the crime scene? There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, defendant lobby number 2. Who's that? Is that Lang? No way. Just because of his hair. It's Detective Bad, but who is he with? Never seen that officer before. Where did you find it? No, not yet. I've looked everywhere. I see. Well, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. So you're the one running this show. I think it is Lang. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at the crime scenes. How dare you? Just who do you think you are? Oh, well, it played Lang's theme. So I'm guessing it's Lang. What was that all about? And who was that man just now? Sorry, yeah, questions are rhetorical when I ask them. But I'm guessing it is Lang. Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him? I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? Looks like you were paying attention after all. So Lang and Bad know each other. Of course I was. They have eyes in the back of my head. Alright. Ah, so that mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out for. Oh! Oh! So he's not just looking at himself in the mirror. Okay. For him to keep an eye on who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Bad. Who was that rude man just now? The guy came here from the Republic of Zengfa to study. He's Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch. By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude. Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree. However, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine, if this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding. What happened in this room straight from him. So, what happened in this room straight from him. Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You are quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a scene brings about success. That's what the detectives say. I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Boy, you see, I will draw my answer from you, one way or another. Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? He gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Please, we are asking for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. Time of the murder. I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the murder. I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about? Things you don't know about? But aren't you supposed to know everything? You should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know the trick behind that piece of evidence. You try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. Detective Bad. Did you know of the existence in this photograph? Of the item in this photograph, sorry. Thanks, Kay, for the 5 bits. Much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, fair enough, girl. Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu's case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same? What? That's impossible! Looks like he did know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Atagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was, in fact, a knife. I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago, you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for? Yeah, that's right. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key was what took Faraday's life? Detective Bad. So that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. Detective Pat, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer is still the same. This is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind this case. Here we go. First argument, or testimony. Detective Badger. I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. We heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. Saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran into lobby number 2. Okay. Sounds like the exact same story he told us before. Indeed. I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can. Okay, we were talking about some trivial things. What trivial thing? Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! Oh my god, please. Hold it! Hold it! I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu. Trivial stuff. It was nothing important. What? That's for me to decide. Alright, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. Right. Didn't we get... We talked about the fact that Manny was... Right. Manny couldn't have done it because the trial hadn't... Well, the trial was happening. This is exactly what he said before in his testimony. Hold it. Hold it. Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sound until that gunshot. If the gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder, that would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. Didn't hear any other strange sounds. So he didn't hear the balloon popping. But the balloon popped first. Objection! Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color, the one that Kay was holding. Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon? Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery during the recess, just before we split up. I filled that balloon up for her. Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway, right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh, so the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway, when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. And if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have been able to hear the balloon popping as well. So? Well, don't give me a so! We just proved that there is a flaw in your testimony. The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking. Alright, since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. What is that supposed to mean? You gonna say they're soundproof? Doors and walls are super thick. Rip it all off. Even the curtains are made of special sound-absorbing material. And you mean... Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound. No! Ugh. Yeah, that's what he was gonna say. And that means that Scruff-Face's testimony is completely useless. The rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any signs of a struggle. Well, that would have been nice to know beforehand. It's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon pop. Now do you get it, kids? Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the one finding flaws in his logic, not the other way around. The other way around? Not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping off it. If one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine the situation in reverse. Right, but the window was open. Wasn't it? I think the window was open. So if the window was open there and the window was open in the hallway, the sound would have travelled out through the windows. Yet Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bat, if that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just did. It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I thought. I hiccup. Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to? It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have. Looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? State of the crime scene. Wait, can it be? Yeah. It's the window being open. Maintenance video? Piece of evidence just disappeared. Oh. TV. Very loud TV. Does the TV have a VHS player? Is that where the tape is? Anyway, this is definitely true. The window was open, right? If both of the windows were open, then you could hear the gunshot. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows, and yet the fragrance of perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through those open barred windows. I thought he would connect the fact that the gunshot would be heard through the windows. Right, but he didn't hear the TV playing, he heard the gunshot. But maybe that's what it wants me to do, is just connect sound together. The fact that sound could travel through the windows. Thought it would have already done that, but let's try. Now then, what else besides the smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer, okay. The answer is sound. So, no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And so the windows in both Defendant's Lobby 1 and the hallway were open. That explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. Perfect. Where did it originate from? Oh! If the TV has a VHS player and it's playing the evidence of the video that has the gut where Mackerel shot Deadman, then it would play the gunshot sound. And because the TV was set to be very loud, that's what the gunshot was. I get it. The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess and brought back here. That's clever. I like this. If it disappeared after the time, and it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. Miles, what have you been thinking about? Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again. It's not a waste of time to think. Well, I have figured out where we should look. The VHS player. And where would that be? I believe we should examine the television. The TV? Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you'd like. Alright. Cool. So the question is, if the gunshot sound that was heard was the video being played on the TV, then how did he actually get shot with nobody hearing it from the actual gun? Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. I'm checking the VHS player. Look at it. Whoops. Oh. It's a video player. And there seems to be a videotape inside. Looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own and reached the end. This tape. Could it not be the missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but... Detective Bad, would it be alright with you if I verified the contents of this video? Sure, knock yourself out. Alright, then let's rewind this and see what we have. If I remember correctly, footage of Rell killing the embassy staff member should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. Should be about, right? Now then, let's see. That's the gunshot. This is the footage of Mr. Rell shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along. Okay. The sound. What's the meaning of this? It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder. Do you mean that you've figured it all out then? Yes. All I have to do now is show what the gunshot detective Bad and Gumshoe heard was. And through where they heard it from. Fine, in that case, show me what you've deduced. Now, to show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard. Through where they heard it from. Alright, through the windows, and it's from the tape. Use. Spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I have. I don't know if he'll... Like, I want him to say that the sound traveled through the windows. Will he do that? Eureka! Eureka! If the door and windows to the crime scene, namely this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun, and no one would have been the wiser. It's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu. All three of them heard the gunshot. While the So the murder must have happened earlier, right? Oh, he said at the 30-minute mark. Okay. So if he started the video, if the killer started the video at the start, hang on, this is me speculating. If the killer had started the video at the start, then you have 30 minutes in order to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell and leave, and Gumshoe also would be distracted, right? Oh, what do you... they still would have seen him. But maybe this before Gumshoe was stationed there? So if he kills them both with the window and the door shut, then starts the tape, opens the window, leaves. Must be something like that. But then either he leaves before Gumshoe gets there, or he leaves when Gumshoe is distracted by Kay. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. Talk about this part first. So naturally, the people in those locations could hear it. Ah, but then, why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. But why was that necessary in the first place? This was so that the time of the actual murder would be changed for everybody. But we think that the murder happened later than it actually did. I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of? When the crime took place. Got it. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes. And they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. So that's why the tape was left running. You mean, the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. It must have been during the reset, before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Yes, Edgeworth, that's what I said. Someone who has no alibi for that time period, and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. Wow, that was a really quick investigation. Okay. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. Updated autopsy report. So that she says that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something. Looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her I will be right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. Ooh. Here we go. The truth. Eyes emoji. Oops. Wait. Monitor turned off. Put my dashboard up. I miss you. This is the final showdown. Hi, Kay! Kay, what are you doing here? Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating. But the object you're looking for is already... Hold it! Kay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Okay, you got it. Detective Bat, haven't we already found what you were looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer. Any little task will do. Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Are we actually gonna get to prosecute? Even if it's a fake prosecution? I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more than solved this case already. We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see we even have a viewer in the gallery. And why? Even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander. I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out. Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements, during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I've also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe. That's all you have? Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion and this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there is always time for a rebuttal. And we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of the court in this case, don't you think? I'm absolutely like a rookie to think of such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. If my logic is correct, and I've already won. All I have to do now is to prove it, by showing who the real killer is. Everyone, sans the suspect, has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? Oh my god, gently. Also confirmed that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Mr. Edgeworth. But of course, there is no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump cards she has up her sleeves. Okay. Rebuttal! I guess we don't have any, like, we didn't get any truth bullets. We didn't get any pieces of evidence to, like, fully nail the fact that the gun went off or the murder happened like 30 minutes earlier. Hold it! The suspect? But I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi had already been proven. Are you joking, Edgeworth? I assure you, this is no joke. Look, I know you've heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll. Yes, that is correct. But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snacking. At least she's done her research well. Which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding. Yeah, you said that already. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, okay? To confirm that there is no possibility. Escape route. Okay, yeah, stop saying the same thing. Hold it!
Hold it!
7 years ago? Yeah. Emma was born. You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? But you're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Wow. Even if you know someone, doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. Sus. Maybe she did it. I'm about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. Besides which, my first order of business is to press more yeah, okay. Yes, get it. I do, I'm a lefty. You can see my stylus in my left hand. If I try to write with my right hand, it would not go right. This feels weird. Okay. Hold it! Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not, it's for me to decide. The scrunched eyebrows and lines in the full head are back. Anyway, if you believed it had been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing. Because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that somehow someone escaped through a window and into the garden? That's the first place everyone looked, silly! The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. And there also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. Suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case. Hold it! Hold it!
Hold it!
Are you absolutely positive that there are no possible routes of escape? Of course I'm sure. And why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there were an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense! Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. What? Why did you whip me? I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. Before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisco or myself speaking with you about the subject. Ah, but there were witnesses. For you, there is your mentor, who gave you an alibi. I see. As for the little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess, and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard, or a bailiff, or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Miss Yu, What about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot, to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. Oh, here it comes! However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap, meant to manipulate our perception of when the crime took place. Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how that could have been fabricated? One second. Okay, be right back. Hi, sorry. I heard something break downstairs. I got kind of worried. Like glass or something. What was it? Nothing important, don't worry. Nobody's breaking into my house. One cares. It was not a gunshot. No, I do not live in America. Don't have to worry about gunshots. It was not Proto Badger either. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how it could have been fabricated? Okay. Yes, the tape. Sorry, left a bit on a cliffhanger during Edgeworth's proud moment. Take that!
Take that!
That tape? What is she? Oh my god, quick makeup! Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell, the prosecution presented in today's trial, that was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video. Ah, but I do, which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I could think of too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Let's go. Sounds from a television don't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew! Didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courtroom's rooms. Of course. I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago. That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet, we heard the gunshot clear as day. And... that's it! The end of the story! But it is not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? There was a hole in the wall. The window was open. There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And it is that, despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was opened in each. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, the window in lobby number 1 was also open. Haha! It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at the time. It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window open in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something that caused the window to be opened. Too much perfume! The person who triggered that action. The person in the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is... I thought it was gonna ask me to present the perfume. I'm like, no? Okay, I just have to present who the killer is. Okay. Stop asking me to play the video. I'm trying to focus on the game. Well, I mean, my suspect was Manny, but if it's in relation to the window being open, then it must be you. But that doesn't make any sense. I thought she was on our side against the smuggling ring. Yeah, you! Yeah, you, in chat, you. Right, because it's not bad. And you was the only other one in that room. So it's not Manny. I thought for sure that we would eventually come back to Manny. But it seems like Edgeworth wants to accuse you. Because she had a perfume which caused the windows to open. But alright. Let's go. I'm going with you, Edgeworth. Take that!
Take that!
This is it's really sudden. I was not expecting to just accuse someone right now. Miss Callisto, you! I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. Uh-oh. What? You indict me? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she is the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet. But of course I'm serious, because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you feel like laughing now? Haha, of course I do, Edgeworth. My argument must not be tied enough yet, although I never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know that I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. Guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? Okay. You argue that the window was opened. However, do you have proof that it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you going around accusing people of murder like this, especially with logic as full of holes as yours. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down, even for a second, or the truth will blow away. Now is the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. I don't, right? I thought it was Bad who opened the window because of her perfume. Perfume was spilled. Maybe I should press this first before I try to present it. It was like her perfume. Hold it!
Hold it!
Evidence? All I'd need to do is have some prints analyzed and we'd know straight away. Be my guest. She sounds as though she has room to maneuver, which means, even if we are able to lift the prints, it only showed that it was somebody else. But why was that someone else forced to open the window? Simple logic. Okay, yeah. I think that's it. Based on pressing that. More importantly, are you going to be okay not running a fingerprint analysis? Yes, I'll be fine. Oh, in that case, I'll just continue with my testimony, alright? No, you won't! Oops. Objection!
Objection!
My voice cracked during that one, but that's okay. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu? Ah, Edgeworth. I never knew you entered wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know. What? This isn't mine? That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Miss Yu, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. This bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you. Because it gets really strong really fast. So, what about the perfume? While you're in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Oh, I know. You also knew that if you spilled it, you would naturally move to open a window. Come now, I've already told you that's all a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window. The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean, Miss Yu, you were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1, when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought up by you, Miss Yu. Oh my god, that lipstick. You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this last testimony. And wrap this absurd case. Wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Can't read. Oh, okay. Why couldn't it be me? Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. Yeah. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. She doesn't know? Well, her testimony is flawless. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. If I'm lacking in information, I'll just draw it out of her. I wonder if Francisco will get mad. Let me see. Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
Hold it!
I formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor. Yes, or we'll sue you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although, your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire. How dare you say such a thing? It's cool to see Edgeworth and Francisco on the same side. Come now, don't let her get to you. Aw, why do you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue? I don't even know. Okay, I need to press this. Hold it! Wait. She definitely knew of the evidence, right? She might not have known about the fact that the knife was... might not have known about the key turning into a knife. Okay, well, I'm just gonna press it first. Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
Hold it!
Don't trust the trunk. At this rate, she will inevitably escape. If she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Mars, what do you think you're doing? I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing. Huh? But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. Ah, so that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. I think he was trying to get her to slip, but she's too good. The only evidence he had to present was the key the Yatagarasu had sent. Unless a key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest. No, I never intended to do such a thing. Oh, it was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony. Sure. Why not? Look at that double I. I'll even say it as many times as you'd like. Eyes. Eyes emoji. Can't kill anyone with a simple key. Alright, well, I'm presenting the key now. Whether she knew about it or not is not what we're trying to say. We're just trying to say it exists. Objection!
Objection!
Just you. I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key the Yatagarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it, in fact, has the secret ability to transform into a knife. Which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagarasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Ugh. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yatagarasu's key... Uh-oh. Yeah, take your time. I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know. You would, even now, still feign ignorance? Huh! I'm not feigning anything. But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence now, can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma. I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Ugh, are you mocking my papa? Did you dare sully the good name of my mentor? Now take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real. Wow, who knew there was such a trick to this thing? Are you satisfied now? But of course, you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Atagarasu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement, and who would never have been privy to this trick, would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, there's something that the Atagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. She's not the Atagarasu, is she? Just before he dragged Mr. Rella, he told me. That's right, I almost forgot. So told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transformed. What you are saying is simply not possible. Oh, and why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. Within these pages, he mentions nothing about the knife. Hi, Tim. I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know. Wouldn't something of his importance be better left to oral communication? Unfortunately, that is also impossible, because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. That's true. What would have been highly classified information, even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on this case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh? How can you laugh at a time like this? She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with. I suppose you're right. Miss Yu, I'd like to state that I also know how you knew the real nature of this knife. Do you now? Or why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? Oh, I will. I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it, the moment of truth. The secret behind the Yatagarasu's key. Only one person would have had knowledge of it from the get-go, who would know from the start that the Yatagarasu's key could change into a knife. The Yatagarasu themselves. Take that!
Take that!
There is only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key. And that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself! Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarasu? Miss Yu. You used Mr. Rel to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You professes to bear a grudge against criminals. Why? Why do something like this? Tell me. Instead of just laughing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Who would have thought that you... Stupid rookie prosecutor would see through me. You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill. It's even greater than when I sneak into someplace. You killed Faraday? Why? Answer me, Callisto Yu. Callisto Yu, huh? It's not my real name, because my real identity is, yes, the great thief Yatagarasu. Okay, I was not expecting her to be the Yatagarasu. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. You see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an offer, an acquittal, for a little favour in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. Once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had to let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I have no choice. I had to kill them both. Well, you just confessed. But didn't you say that you despised criminals? But do I really? You... Have you forgotten about the KG8 incident too? That's what I was gonna say. What about her sister? Maybe. What sort of woman would... So then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence that you sent? Huh. Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was gonna do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was gonna prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarasu by using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him, which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered number 2, on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. In order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu's key, just like that. He had never noticed I had changed the key into a knife inside the plastic bag. And he didn't have a chance to take note of the knife that took his life. Did you kill him? I knew him from a long time, you know. For a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well. I believe I mentioned why when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness, and how that led the killer to think about setting them up, as though they killed each other. Then the trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape, which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. Wow. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet. You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you? How could you betray a client? Client? If you want to talk about who was a client of whose first, it was me. I was the client in the murder of the Cadopian Embassy staff member, Dead Man. You ordered a hit job? You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad? She's... God, I thought that she'd really be, like, a good person because her sister was a good person who died as the victim and she was out for revenge. But she's the exact opposite. She's working with the smuggling ring. I had Dead Man killed because he was about to give away information about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? It can't be. You're... That's right. I am a member of the smuggling ring. Hi, JJ. Look at this. You don't mean... You're working with Manny Cochin too, do you? Maybe, maybe not. Guess you'll never know. Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer! Hope you're doing well today, JJ. That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer. Something doesn't add up. But then why would Kay want to inherit the Yatagarasu name? Something is weird. Something's fishy. Be quiet, you. Yatagarasu. You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court. He has something up her sleeve. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know the Yatagarasu has 3 legs? Do you know why that is? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. That's quite the gun you have there. You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagarasu key right to me without a second thought. Oh, we did? Oh, crap. I thought we just showed it to her and we took it back. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it. That's a big whoopsie. You mean the key was your real target? Huh. Even after I gave you such great advice. Didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? And you may regret what comes of your negligence. You two, get down! Ah! My body, I can't move. Edgeworth! Hey, mister! To your right! Did she just kick me? Or did I get shot? I don't know what happened. You! Are you alright, Francisca? I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go? It's a gunshot. Okay. He escaped. Sorry. Looks like she got away. Called the precinct. They should have perimeter set up soon. Detective Bad, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. PQ, please. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. Oh no. You may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. Yeah, you don't say. Look at that sweat. But more importantly, boy. I mean, Mr. Edgeworth. It's one calm. Are you too hurt? I'm absolutely fine. There's no way a 13-year-old is fine after that. I'm also alright. Thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey. Detective Gumshoe. Hey, yes, sir? Detective Bat, sir? I'm sorry I doubted you. Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened. Okay. Lying while giving testimonies is still unforgivable. But in this case, you are protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Now, don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops. Pops? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we? Way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment. I should get back to my investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yeah, this one, this is an official copy of Investigations. Where's the case? Yeah. UK copy. So this was international. It's the sequel, Ace Attorney Investigations 2, which was not. Yes, well, I'm glad we've sold everything before you were taken to prison. Judge, are you okay? I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. Ah, it was no problem, really. Ha ha ha. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor. Well, even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective. Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give all that you have, and perform your duties well. Aww. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me. She did? Oh, what is it? What was it that Kay left for me? The proof of their friendship? It's the roll, right? I think it's the roll. I'm not overthinking it. It's been a week, but I'm pretty sure it was the roll. Because they bought it together. Let me just double check. Because it's been a while. Oh yes, his fingerprints. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the roll. I don't see anything else. It's definitely not the gun. So it's the roll. Take that!
Take that!
It's a courthouse special Swiss roll! Okay, looks like he was right. Can I really have it? Yes, it's a present meant for you after all. Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now! Sure, go ahead. The Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoes and Kay brought together. While the one Kay saved never reached her father, it would appear that his sentiments have touched the heart of this detective. He's so happy. It's as though he's having a welcome-packed celebration of his own. Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him. Ooh, that was good, pal. Can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I've got to thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she? You only noticed just now? This is mine not present when we discussed her earlier. Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him. Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first, you know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? Aww. I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement. We should go home too. We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa. Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective. Roger, sir. Don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case real well. I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor, and that also didn't end very well. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now... Hi! So this is the end of case 3. My old cravat! So, do you remember now? I wonder if she washed it. Yes, I remember everything. Kay, it's been a while. We haven't seen her since that day. Kay, you sure grew up a lot. Of course, but thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time? Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away. so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much. Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright. So, does all this make sense now? You betcha it does. Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and... Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. Huh? First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? That's what I want to know! The Yatagarasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father. No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father. Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu? Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and I found a secret diary hidden amongst his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure. But that's impossible! What's with that look? You don't believe me? It wasn't just the expression on my face. It clearly said it was impossible just now. Alright then, how do you explain this? It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing. Yep, that's Little Thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagarasu's greatest secret. Oh, okay. This little gizmo was used by my father, so it's not just a projection, it disables security system. Whoa! Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor. He was really a great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked real hard to steal the truth, but he was killed. And the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently. Someone other than you? Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article. Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card? Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady is behind this. Because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out. The Yatagarasu did send a white card, along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves. Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up, and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so that I can obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. So you're saying that I have your father and misuses their identities backwards? Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace. Oh. Okay, you're so honorable. I don't know what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal. Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief, and you are plotting to commit a crime. Well, if you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman. Evil woman? You mean Callisto Yu? I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you are able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me? Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you. Huh? Owe me for what? When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I am not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid. Then you mean... Yes. That case has been weighing down my soul ever since that faithful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. You don't intend to sully your hands in a crime. Then I believe I can help you. Mr. Edgeworth, thank you. Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Isn't that great, Kay? Yeah, sure is, Gummy. Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. Ugh, what is with that chummy relationship? The great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Burn Faraday, Callisto Yu, Kay Faraday. the phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yatagarasu, and the Yatagarasu's real goal, it would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kane. Cool. A brand new episode has been added. Turnabout ablaze. Oh boy. Cool. So the person who gave me this game never finished it. Oh, that's Kay. You can tell from the key in her head. Yeah, he gave it to me and they never finished case 4. Dang. I should do case 5 now. It's 9 o'clock. I have a feeling like if it's like Ace Attorney 1 and 3, case 5 will be the longest. Outbaited. We can watch the intro. Case 5 is super long. Give us the intro. Start now? Hoping I could do it all in 1 week. Like 1 weekend. That was the plan. Like, I'd rather not start now for like an hour. Might be hard to do in 2 streams. That's what they said about Case 5 and Ace Attorney 1. Oh, you won't be able to do it in 1 stream. And I did it. I mean, nobody said that. So, I just wanted to do it in 1 stream. I could try to do it in 2 streams. But what I'll do is I could start earlier. I could start at like 6. And then play till midnight on the Saturday. Yeah, because like if I had... I did, yeah. If you watched the last VOD of an Ace Attorney 1, it was like a 10-hour stream. An hour of that was just watching the Blue Badger video. That's true. I could just stop whenever I want. I just like to do it in 1 weekend, so I have all the stuff there. That's the question. Let's watch the intro. I'm curious as to what the intro will be, and then we'll decide. Let's do that. Turnabout ablaze. That's a match. 2 cards. Oh, not cards again. One of the Black Raven. And one of the White Raven. A country torn in 2. One to the west. And one to the east. And those which were split are made whole again. The truth will reveal itself. Uh-oh. It's the Yatagarasu! The Yatagarasu's here! What was just set on fire? Edgeworth? What did you do? Oh, okay, no. K, Q. What did K... Kay set something on fire. A huge building. March 14th. This is the day... Yeah, this is the day after the first murder. Like, case 1. Case 1. Look at that Edgeworth drinking his coffee. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I know it's gonna be a shorter streams this weekend, but I think it's probably better that I stop now. And then what I'll do is, because we had less Ace Attorney I'll definitely finish next weekend. And I'll start early. I'll start at like 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. So 6 p.m. GMT plus 1. On both days, Saturday and Sunday, and then we'll go to midnight on the Saturday, and then start at 6 p.m. on the Sunday, and we'll just go until we finish, even if it takes me a little while. That's the plan. Yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. For those of you who want to know. So 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Saturday and Sunday. I'd rather finish it. I will finish it next weekend for sure. And then the weekend after, we can start Ghost Trick, which I'm very excited for.